I don't return fruit. Fruit's a gamble. I know that going in.
Are you a gun enthusiast? Love to shop for guns, but also looking for friendly service? Well, you're in luck. Top Gun Supply is the friendly gun shop. Staff is very knowledgeable, happy to see you when you walk through the door, and can assist you with all your gun shopping needs. Top Gun Supply stocks a wide range of firearms, such as Ruger, Beretta, Sig Sauer, HK, and LWRC. So stop on by at Top Gun Supply. Top Gun Supply, the friendly gun shop, a proud sponsor of the Armchair Quarterbacks. Armchair Quarterback Radio is AFC South country, all NFL season long.
They hand it off for Nat. He's driving, and he's in for the touchdown. Wow!
Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable. 2nd and 10. Empty set. Walk downfield, and that is Hilton again. 1st and goal. Ebron, what a year for him. Eric Ebron, touchdown.
Slant caught, touchdown. Marquise Lee, and he punched the ball into the stands.
Deep, and he's got it. Keelan Cole, touchdown Jacksonville.
Stay locked in to the AFC South on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
World air quality is at an all-time low.
But hey, that doesn't mean you can't have a little fun. New from Mattel, it's the greenhouse gas gun. Do you hate the snowman next door? Use the greenhouse gas gun. Want to piss off an entire room full of tree huggers? Use the greenhouse gas gun. There is simply no end to the amount of fun and respiratory disease you can have with the greenhouse gas gun.
Armchair.
We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
He only has 3 rings.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio's #1 sports station.
The Armchair Quarterbacks got you covered. Don't miss a moment of Armchair Quarterbacks Masters Week.
Arnold Palmer is the Masters champion of 1960. He has birdied the last 2 holes, one of the greatest displays of courageous golf that anybody has ever seen any place.
Maybe. Yes, sir. There it is. Can you believe it? Nick Faldo. There it is. A win for the ages. Is it his time? Yes!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow! In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Week-long coverage of the Masters here on Armchair Quarterbacks, CBS Sports Radio.
This is what friendship means to me. Having so much crap on someone that they can't ever reveal the crap they have on you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Catbird seat as we talk Yankees, Red Sox, Rays. Teamish, you can pretty much go to hell right now. Angelo, how are you?
Oh, thanks. That's nice. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm not doing as good as Teamish is doing, and you look like you just went through 3 rounds with the Houston Astros. Teamish, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Bet you are,
Panama.
Panama.
Would have picked up yesterday's game, but I don't have a whole lot to complain about.
Let's dive directly into the Yankees Astros, because what a series that was. And yeah. I caught the majority of Garrett Cole's start on Saturday night. And that was an all-timer, deep down, get grab your cojones and step up to the plate. He got the big W for the team on Saturday. It was one of the most impressive pitching outings I believe I've seen all year, and I'm not counting any of those goofy no-hitters. I'm talking about an actual outing where you knew they needed him. He went 9 innings, shutout baseball. And here's the thing, Angelo, they didn't want to go and have to go to the damn bullpen for Aroldis Chapman because he's had his struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led to yesterday why they didn't go to Aroldis Chapman, but the strange thing was Boone had Chapman warming up in the bullpen Saturday, but didn't let him in the game on Sunday when they were up 7-2 going into the bottom of the ninth. What say you on the very strange way that he is handling the bullpen right now?
He's, as a coach, you have to have confidence. You have to have a sense of direction one way or another, right? You can't flip flop. You can't be ready one day for the closer to come in and then the next day say no. I think that's why a lot of Yankees fans want Boone's head, because of the indecisiveness and lack of, I guess you can say, conviction or control or commitment to a certain.
I'll give you another C word, cojones. He doesn't have the cojones.
Right. But I'm just waiting to see if a stint on the DL or IL now is coming for Chapman. I think that would be kind of the smart thing to do, just to give him more time, rehab, go to AAA, get some innings there, see what happens when he comes back.
So do you think he's actually injured, or you're just saying put him on the IL because there's something not right in his head?
I the second one.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's injured, but a lot of times people, they do that for pitchers where they give them a start in AAA, put them on the IL for an undisclosed injury.
Right. The way I look at it is, I get it that they're talking about how they don't necessarily want to put him in high leverage situations because of the disaster he's been the last few outings, but you were going to put him in a 1-0 game on Saturday.
Right.
So if you were going to put him in on a 1-0 game on Saturday, wouldn't the perfect time to bring him in would have been yesterday? Start the inning. Don't bring him into a mess. Start the inning, and you have to give up 5 runs to lose the game. I think I would have taken my chance and then would have given him a boost going into the All-Star break, et cetera, et cetera. Now you kind of throw it out there where you don't really believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you're not going to have the belief in this guy, it's hard to call him your closer. And so I think Boone's really stepped in his mess kit here, because you're looking at a situation where the next time you do bring him out, and they're playing Boston next, by the way, that's another reason why you would have liked to get some confidence going in. You got a 4-game set in the Bronx starting on Thursday, which, by the way, brings us out of the All-Star break. That's the only game that's scheduled on Thursday. So here's hoping there's no rain, because Manfred did nothing to do a backup plan on that deal. So if there's a rain out, we're just going to get absolutely no ball games on Thursday. But that's huge to me. That's huge going in to the All-Star break, to not put your closer out there who has not worked the past few days, to not put him out there for a 7-2 lead. Because then if at that point he blows that, then I'm with you. Put him on the IL and say, dude, you got to figure it out. You got the yips or something's going on.
Right.
But team is your boys. They're sitting high above. They literally are in the catbird seat. They're sitting in first place as we head into the All-Star break. And they do have the Rays nipping at their heels, but they've got a 1.5 game lead right now as we speak, 1 in the loss column. And they're going to be heading to the Bronx for 4 coming out of the break. Tampa's going to be playing Atlanta coming out of the break. And considering all the injuries Atlanta's gone through, advantage Atlanta, I would think, because New York, to me, this is a do or die situation on winning that series. They don't necessarily have to win 3 of 4, but you can't lose the series. You can't drop 3 or 4. You're 8 games out. What's the mindset going in with the Red Sox, T?
I think with the way the Yankees are playing and the issues they're having, if we go in and split the series in New York, that's a win for the Red Sox. All the pressure's on the Yankees right now. We swept them twice. We're not going to sweep them in a 4-game series. That's not going to happen. But if we go, you never know how a team can come out flat after the All-Star break, after those days off. Baseball is a game of routines and all this. I'm hoping that we come out a little bit better than we started the season, dropping 3 to Baltimore. I don't want to go in and lose this series against the Yankees. If we do get 1 of 4, is it the end of the world for the Red Sox? No. Do we want that? No. But anything of, 2-2 or better, it's a win for the Sox. The Yankee, and the thing is, if you look at the Sox schedule the next month, we're playing division. So we need to tie or win series. 4-game series, we need to tie or at least win the series for the next month if we want to hold our lead. And we got the Yankees again in a week after this weekend. So we'll see. The pressure's on the Yankees. It's not on the Sox right now.
It is, except for the fact that if you lose the division, you could very well not make the playoffs.
True, but it's July.
There is that
what I'm talking about right now.
Right.
It's July, and we have time.
Right now, Tampa's your biggest worry.
Yeah.
Because right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, the Rays would be in the playoffs as a wild card. And you're going to have the Red Sox, White Sox, and Astros, obviously, as the division leaders. And Oakland would be the second team. Now, closest team to Oakland, which is strange enough in the wild card race, no one's talked about this team at all in Major League Baseball, but the Seattle Mariners have quietly put together 48 and 43 season, a season that was looked upon as a rebuild year. They're playing good baseball. I don't think there's anything in the Central Division that's any kind of a threat to the wild card, because you're talking about having to make up a lot of games. The Indians are 45 and 42, and there's only 70 something games left. That would have to get extremely hot for a Cleveland team that doesn't score. It's Tampa, it's New York, and it's Toronto that I would be concerned about. If I'm Boston and I fall off and I don't win the division, I would be concerned about one of them eclipsing me, maybe the Mariners. I have a hard time seeing the Mariners making trades to bring in to try to win a wild card when this season they're kind of playing with house money. That front office was not expecting to compete this year. Anything they can give the fans to look forward to next year is a plus sign. But I could see Toronto being aggressive. They've done it in the past. We know the Yankees will be aggressive. In Tampa, I'm bringing this to the plate. I got our money out, and everyone needs to pitch in. All Tampa Bay Rays fans, get your piggy banks out. And we're going to send a few nickels down to Tampa to see if we can possibly get some kind of a bat to help us, because I think that's the biggest thing that Tampa needs, because they're going to get Glasnow back hopefully in August is what they hope, late August. I don't think they're going to make any kind of major move for pitching. They just don't do that. But I could see them trying to make a minor move for a bat like a Joey Gallo or something. When we go into this, all of a sudden closer is an issue for New York, Angelo.
Which the bullpen was never the concern for the Yankees. The
right.
bullpen always, okay, they make it to the 4th or 5th inning, you better score all you're going to score by the 5th, or you're losing to the Yankees. And now that's an issue. They got some problems in New York. They really do. It's great for us, obviously, but speaking as just strictly as a baseball fan, New York, it's coming to poop or get off the pot time. And I'm very interested to see what happens. I mean, they're 8 games out now. And Angelo, you and I discussed about 7 or 8 was the fault line And if they don't do well in this next couple series against the Sox or the Rays coming up, I mean, I don't think they play the Rays soon, but I know they play the Sox twice before July ends. And if they're 10, 11 games out, they're not going any. I mean, they're done, basically.
Yeah, so we have 11 games. We have four, obviously the 8 against the Red Sox and then 3 against the Rays at the end of July in Tampa. Right, in those 11 games, I think the Yankees need to, I'd say, go 7-4. That's the bare minimum. If they go anything less, I think they're done. Unless they just go on a streak where they win 10 games in August in a row, build up some. But, division games are worth kind of a game and a half, right? Essentially, because
and the Sox and the Rays go on a losing streak at the same time. I mean,
right. So
you're going to have to, you're at a point now, you've got to start chipping away at that 8 games. You get any lower, it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Before the trade deadline, the Yankees faced the Red Sox 8 times, and they faced Tampa 3.
Right.
So that's huge because you're only talking about there's only a couple of games outside of that aren't up face-to-face with the teams they're concerned with. We're compartmentalizing Toronto for now because right now you're trying to chase the 2 teams at the top. They 4 at home against Boston, 2 at home against Philly in the middle of the week, which is kind of weird. And then at Boston again for 4. And then when they come off of that, they'll get a day off and then they'll go to Tampa for 3, which they have struggled. They'll be in Florida during the trade deadline. The trade deadline is Saturday, July 31st. They'll be playing the Marlins at that point. And I mean, I honestly think it'll be Friday, July 30th before the Yankees figure out whether or not they're buyers or sellers, because you'll have those 8 games under your belt against the Red Sox and Rays. And at that point, I mean, if you just tread water and you're 8 games out, you're probably not aggressive buyers. You might add something here and there, but if you fall off, you're definitely not going to buy. But man, if they make a charge, they're 4 games out, somewhere in that neighborhood. Angelo, couldn't you see them getting extremely aggressive?
Yeah, I was just getting there. So if they win 3 of the 4 against the Sox in the first series, which is possible, like Timo said, that's not a horrible thing for the Red Sox. It'd be more of a positive for the Yankees, I think, just to give them some confidence, momentum. Then they have the day off. They could win both games against the Phillies at home. Then in Boston, I think if they split that series, go at least 2-2, going into that big series with the Rays. But yeah, I think they need to be, like you mentioned, within 4 games of at least a wild card.
I think even 5 you could see them being, but it gets ridiculous if it's close to double digits, because you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to have 30. No, I have around 60 games to make up 10. I mean, it's just unrealistic. Boston, conversely, they will come out of the break obviously at New York, like we talked about, and then they go to Toronto for 3, which is big for Toronto. So they've got at New York, at Toronto, at home against New York, at home against Toronto. Those are the next 15 games heading in, and then they'll be in Florida as well at the trade deadline. They'll be in Tampa. Boston's got a rough road to get to. Do I think they're going to fall off? No, I think Boston's a really good baseball team. But man,
and we're getting Sale back soon.
And you're getting Sale back soon, which may or may not be a good thing because you never know if he's going to come out.
But
beat the Sale
we have to at least talk about that mention that, because who knows what he's going to be after Tommy John.
Worst case scenario, you put him in your pen, right?
Right. Yeah. Like we did in the World Series. Yeah. And the thing is, and he said, I'll pitch anytime, anywhere. He told Cora, look, I don't care. It's not about me.
That's how he ended up with Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
I'll pitch anytime, anywhere. Wait a minute. What the hell is that? It felt somewhat rip.
Here's my question though. Let's say the Yankees become sellers. I'm not all that familiar with the Yankee contracts, but who would they have to sell that people could take over? Because usually when you think Yankee players, you think enormous contracts and all this stuff. Do they have players that they can sell that teams will be saying, all right, we can afford this?
Torres, yeah. The other guy that pops into my mind, Angelo, is assuming that he's back because he's it's being reported that he's on his way back, would be Corey Kluber because he's on a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Corey Kluber was pitching really well before he got hurt. Right. So that's a guy that jumps off the board at me. Who knows? They might trade Chapman. Someone might take a chance on him, go, you know what, man? Change of scenery, clear your head, whatever. I mean, you still throw 119 miles an hour uphill. So I'll take my chance on a lefty that can do that. But man, I'll tell you what, we're a long ways away from the Yankees even thinking about selling, because 8 games with New York, 8 games with Boston is going to be the telltale sign. You look at Boston's schedule, and when they come out of the trade deadline, it eases up a little bit with Detroit, but then they do go to Toronto and Tampa again. If they can get into the middle of August, there's some smooth sailing. You got Texas, Minnesota, Cleveland. Those are Cleveland twice, actually. Those are games in Baltimore twice. Those are games where you can really put some distance if things are going the right way. Now, as far as Tampa is concerned, we haven't really gotten into their schedule, but obviously they've been mentioned a ton of times as we were just talking. They're coming out of the break at Atlanta, and Atlanta's got the big injury with Acuna. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. We'll just kind of have to wait and see when it comes to the Braves, if they become buyers or sellers. You'll learn a lot about that front office if they don't do anything during this All-Star break, because like an intelligent mind would say, you're 4 games out of first place. You would think they're going to make a run at a outfielder, but looking at Tampa's schedule, when you look at the second half of the season, and they're playing at Atlanta, then Baltimore, at Cleveland, New York, and Boston, which is a rough stretch, but then Seattle, Baltimore, at Boston again, but Minnesota, Baltimore. I mean, I've seen a lot of Baltimore Orioles popping up. Baltimore again in late August. I mean, they play the Baltimore Orioles a lot, and so they've got a chance to make up ground. They play the Tigers quite a bit. So the Rays have played a very difficult first half of the schedule. This is where it starts paying dividends in the last 70 games or so. But once again,
they played 4 series with the Yankees in the first couple of months. They only have 2 left, if my math is correct.
I believe.
The good thing for the Yankees is the Rays take it to the Sox every single series. It doesn't matter how good or how bad they are. They always play us very, very strong. So, the Yankees can sit back for a little bit and just watch the Rays and the Sox just beat up on each other, which, if they can pull out some W's and win a few series, the Rays and the Sox could really help the Yankees by the time the season's over. A month from now, we're going to have a very clear picture of who our individual teams are and where they're going, I think.
It's interesting. The season ends in the Bronx with the Rays. Ooh, that could be nice.
That'd be a 3-game series, right?
Correct. The Rays finish the last week of the season at Houston and at New York. And I believe Houston's going to continue to be in a dogfight in their division. I don't think they'll run away from Oakland. So
but they're good.
That's going to be a very, very difficult week for the Tampa Bay Rays. Now they've got a lot of easy games going up. Well, you can't call any Major League Baseball game easy, but when the 9 games prior to that, they're at home against Detroit, Toronto, and Miami. So they're going to need some momentum going into that last week of the season, because man, that is a tough stretch to finish your season off, not only on the road, but at the Astros and at the Yankees.
So, and it's funny because this is what I think the Yankees analytic department will say, right? They'll say you need to be at least within 3 games of the Rays, right? Which is most likely going to be for a wild card spot. Right now we're 5.5. So essentially the Yankees need to make up 2.5 games. I think that's the way they'll look at it. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't think that's right way to look at it. But I think that might prevent them from panicking. That's what they'll say at the deadline. That's the reports that we'll be hearing coming out. They're just trying to stay within that wild card spot. I think the division is long gone. Boston's just too solid. From what I've seen so far, Boston is too solid. Yankees, a lot has to happen for the Yankees to get back in the AL East picture. Boston just needs to coast, I think, at this point. I think Timo said it best, win or tie series, right? Boston can't go out there and lose 3 series in a row, right? Then it's going to get nervous for them. But I think the Yankees need to be within 3-4 games or 3 games of the Rays going into that last series.
By the way, did either one of y'all catch the draft at all last night?
No.
I watched a little bit.
Did you see the kid that was drafted by the Boston Red Sox? I'm trying to find a really good picture to show this kid. Well,
the shortstop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him, yeah.
This picture doesn't do justice, but I'm going to try to crap. I need a blown up picture of him. Let me see if I can find it here. This kid he's a dead ringer for the Entourage's star.
Adrian.
the guy that they made the show about, right?
Yeah.
The guy who was actually the actor.
He played Vincent Chase.
Yeah, Vincent Chase. I mean, he is an absolute. I keep hitting it, and all right. I'm gonna do my best to share this, and we'll see what the hell if y'all can even make this out. I wanted to find one big picture of it, but this is the kid that they just signed or drafted, and I'm telling you,
Adrian Grenier is his name.
This kid right here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
During the draft, so he's sitting in his house or whatever. He didn't have a ball cap on. He's even got the same hairdo as the kid. I mean,
And the big bushy eyebrows.
Yeah, I was like, he's leaning into this, which I don't blame him. But I was like, he's leaning into this. I was like, he's not even trying to. He's gonna get that kid's gonna end up with some kind of a Madison Avenue type of deal in the very short future, because there's no way you look that much like the kid from Entourage and don't make a dime off of that playing for the Boston Red Sox. It's too on the nose. Because didn't all those guys come from Boston? Wasn't that
no? They came from New York. They were all Yankee fans.
Were they?
Okay. Yeah, because Turtle used
that
to wear
doesn't make sense because
said "Welcome to New York, Johnny" when Johnny Damon signed.
That's true.
And they were all and they always made fun of the Mets. They'd say, "Well, it's a Mets game."
Regardless. Yeah. I mean, that's just too on the nose. The only way it would help them a little bit more is if the show was still popular right now, right? But anyways, I've been mentioning my wife. I say, does that kid not look like the dude off of Entourage? She goes, yeah. And normally have to explain to my wife like 19 things. Like, well, the guy that did this and that. She goes, yeah, that looks just like him. I was like,
next time, just say he was in The Devil Wears Prada. If you're talking to your wife, he was in that movie as well. She'll probably get it a little quicker.
I'm supposed to know that.
You knew that.
This devil's never worn Prada, buddy. Okay, I'm saying right now.
That I believe.
Yeah,
I would love to see that. Just make a little bet.
I'd give up next week's paycheck to see that.
Devil Rays wear Prada, but no.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, anyways, I watch it, curiosity to see what the analysts have to say, but you don't know most of these kids because they played high school baseball, so it kind of loses something there. And then the other thing I don't like about the whole thing is where you're slotted and the money you have available to be able to say, I'm like, this is going to ruin any chance of this draft ever becoming big, because when you're watching the NFL draft, you can draft the best player available, right? And they're slotted accordingly. you're never going to get the MLB draft big the way they have it set up, because they're mentioning, oh, well, Rocker falls to the Mets because the rest of the teams in front of them couldn't afford to sign him. I'm like, well, how is that good competition? Oh, I get the number 1 pick, but I don't have any money. Anyways, I did watch a little bit of it last night. I was more impressed with ESPN's coverage, and I never say that, than MLB Network. They didn't have a bottom line or anything scrolling. It was asinine. Well, I'm supposed to memorize exactly who's drafting next. And, anyways, terrible job by MLB Network. Okay, so we're about to wind this up, but we don't meet for another week. When we come back, Angela, how many games are the Yankees out of first place?
6. I think they win 3 of 4. Sorry.
Okay. Teamus, we come back from next Monday. How many games are you up on the Yanks?
7. I think again, the pressure's all on them. We just have to split these series. If we can split 2 out of 4.
Possible for you to be 7 up?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't think there was. Yeah.
No. Wait, because we get a game every time. You're right. Yeah. I don't math, man. That's what I have my wife for.
So 8. So
yeah.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing really changed. I think if we split it.
Oh, if you split it, you gotta look at that as a win.
It's a definite win for
Unless
us.
the Rays go
in all in New York.
Right. Unless the Rays go and sweep Atlanta, then you're like, crap. We fall.
Which, is not out of the realm of possibility, because the Rays aren't going anywhere.
Because as much as Atlanta fans are hoping that they make a move to bring in an outfielder, you also might wake up Friday morning and half your pitching staff's been traded because they're like, screw it, man. Acuna's gone. Ozuna's in prison. Travis d'Arnaud's far from rejoining us.
Freddie Freeman hitting his weight this year.
Yeah, it'll be actually Freddie's been hitting really well the last month, but he is a free agent, and if they do decide to trade him, then what a coup they could get. But we were talking about this on the morning show, man. If you trade him, you have to be willing to lose him, because you let him see where he could play outside of Atlanta. Right now, this is all he's ever known, and you take his family, he's got kids or wife, etc., and they open the door up, you're no longer going to get that hometown discount.
And it ain't above Atlanta to do such a thing. Let's be honest.
It'd be pretty weird. It would be very weird.
They did it with how many players? I mean, the only one they really didn't do it to was Chipper.
Not their cornerstone. They've never done it.
Chipper Jones was the only one that stayed the rest of the way. They had Matt Smoltz, all these guys.
Smoltz was trash by the time they got rid of him. Maddox was wanting to leave, and they were doing a full-blown rebuild. It's different with a pitcher than an everyday player. They didn't do it with Chipper. They wouldn't have done it with Dale Murphy, but Dale Murphy really fell off the wayside, and Phillies learned that the hard way. But it's not typical for them to do that because he's the face of the franchise. If they do that, then that tells you that they're doing a 180 move, and they're going to make Acuna the face of the franchise.
Send him to Boston. We'll take him.
I mean, if we got to get rid of him, send him to New York. So you hit off that short porch. Hammer Matt Barnes. By the way, Matt Barnes gets signed to an extension.
Yep. That was my walk-off, actually.
All right. Well, what's your walk-off for the day, Teamus?
I'm glad. 2-year extension. They didn't overpay. I think everybody wins in this scenario.
Closer August 1st?
Yeah.
They don't make a trade for another guy? A guy who's in Chicago right now who grew his hair.
The Kimbrel thing, yeah, I've heard those rumors, but Cora said Barnes, he's like, I've heard that. He goes, it's not up to me if Kimbrel comes back or not. He goes, I don't think he's gonna. But even if he does, our closer is Matt Barnes. So, hey, I'd use Kimbrel in the 8th and then have Barnes come in and shut the door in the 9th. would you guys want to go Whitlock or Albatani or whatever his name is, and then Kimbrel and then Matt Barnes? What team would want to do that?
I wouldn't trust Kimbrel anywhere but a closer, because I don't know if he would. He's been a closer for so long. You put him in the 7th or 8th inning, he may not come out with that fire. Like, that's just that kind of mentality. Barnes, you could move up and down, but Kimbrel, I don't know about that. What's your walk off, Angela?
No, looking forward to the home run derby. You got a lot of great storylines. Can Ohtani do it? He's having a great season. You have Pete Alonso, Trevor Story, and what may be one of his last few appearances at Coors Field. Olsen, and then obviously Mancini's story. So I'm hoping it's a good one. Hope it's not a dud.
It's first time ever I won't watch the home run derby or the All-Star game, so I'm going to find other things to do. But my walk-off is I hope Tampa actually freaking gets aggressive for once, because they're going to need it. I mean, some of the injuries that they've gone through, and they've got a rough road ahead. The other thing would be I just hope everyone stays safe during the All-Star game, because that was a scary-ass story that came out of was it yesterday afternoon with the 4 gunmen that were arrested right next to the stadium.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrorist related. What the hell was it? Because it wasn't normal. If you're going to tell me that's normal, you got long guns and ammo, and they're right next. I mean, it stunk of the Las Vegas shooting. It just stunk of it. I was like, man, this is not, they might be telling people that so they don't freak out, but I'm not going to buy that at all. I just hope everyone stays safe, players and fans, because that scared the living hell out of me. I was like, oh my God, that would be like the most terrible thing for not just baseball, but sports in America, for some nut job to be able to do that. And we will see y'all next week. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but whatever, we'll tell you about it next week.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Football.
Oh, come on, man. Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah. I forget the whole Greek thing that you try to, go Suns, baby. Go Suns. Chris Paul, baby. CP3. We're going to give him a championship. I was impressed that Robin actually acted like Batman last night. Actually led the team. That is a weird thing, because usually Middleton is the man. All right. We'll see y'all next week. And also, go Knowles, baby. How about that recruiting class? How many McDonald's bags do you think is involved in that, Angela?
That's where that fund is going on your desk, right?
It's exactly. It's
all
legal now. It's legal now. 2 Live Crew is going to start paying Miami players. We're going to have to get some of our guys. Man, I wish Burt Reynolds was still alive. He would have gotten drunk and just given everyone all kinds of money to come down to FSU.